Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out the range to talk about 2011 1911s. I have in my hands a Staccato P. Staccato P has kind of become synonymous with the 2011 moniker, but there are other handguns out there that are competitive to the Staccatos. In some cases they're less expensive, and in many cases there's some Turkish clones out there that are really less expensive. But today we want to talk about one that's manufactured by Bul Armory that is an outstanding 2011 style pistol, and actually one of my favorites. We're going to start off today's video shooting the Staccato P. This is their standard carry handgun, if you will. There are different versions of this. There's smaller carry versions, there are competitive versions that have muzzle brakes on them, things like that. But the Staccato P is quite popular for defensive carry purposes. So we're going to start off shooting this guy, and then we're going to transition over to the Bul Armory 1911 and talk about it, because I think you guys are going to like this new handgun that's being offered by them. A lot of folks ask me, how can I get involved in the firearms business in that particular community? And one of the best ways to do that is to become a gunsmith. Every gunsmith I know is just overbooked with work. It's a very good living. And so if you would like to become a gunsmith, you need to go to a gunsmithing school or become an apprentice for an existing gunsmith. But Modern Gun School is an accredited college that also works with veterans in the GI Bill, where you can go and get a degree from accredited college in gunsmithing and then go out and start your own gunsmithing business, which I think is a really great option. Again, throughout my entire life, gunsmiths have always been able to earn a really good living, assuming they have a really strong work ethic. So please check out Modern Gun School. I do have a link in the video description below. This is the new Bul Armory TAC pistol. There are two versions of this handgun. There are the TAC and the TAC Pro. This is the TAC. The TAC Pro will have a ported barrel and different sights on it. The front sight on this has a high-vis front sight. If you put the porting in the barrels, it'll mess with that front sight. So if you do the ported barrel, you'll have different sights on it. They'll just be black. This one has the high-vis front sight on it, and then the serrated rear sight. Now this isn't a 2011 style pistol. Bul Armory has been making these. This is a brand new version of this handgun. It's got some changes to it. We'll talk about that in today's video. This one has a 4.25-inch barrel on it, and it's pretty much the same specs in terms of size and stuff like that as the Staccato P that we opened up the video with, but this one will come to market right around $2,200. Now, there are things about this handgun that I really like. The ergonomics are great, and I'll talk about why I think that the ergonomic feel of this handgun is slightly better than the Staccato. Plus, it comes with everything you want and need in the box when you buy the handgun for the price I just mentioned. So you don't have to go out and buy extra magazines. It's going to come with 4 of them. It's optics cut. It's ready to go. It just has everything you need in the bag, and it's a really nice bag that it comes with. So let's start off shooting this handgun. It does use 2011 style magazines, but these are not compatible with Staccato mags. These are their own mags, but again, you get 4 of them with the gun when you buy it, but you can always buy more. And it has that 2011 style grip on it. So you have the double stack magazine and then that slightly thicker grip. But as with all 2011 style pistols, it just still feels like a 1911, a slightly thicker 1911, but it still has the ergonomics and shootability of the 1911, including an outstanding trigger, really positive safety, and just that really natural pointing grip angle. So let's take a closer look at this TAC 9mm pistol and just delve into it, because I think you guys are really going to like this handgun, given the price point, the features, and all that stuff that kind of wrap up into what the Bul Armory brand is. So this is the case that the gun will come in. It's very nicely done. A lot of people will complain if they buy a nice high-end firearm and it comes in a cardboard box. They get a little salty about it. Well, you're not going to get a cardboard box with your TAC pistol. When you open it up, the gun will be inside. It'll come with 4 magazines. So you have 4 mags. These are 20 plus 1 magazines, 20 in the mag plus 1, 21 rounds. In the gun as you would carry it, lock, all the tools and parts, small parts that you would need. I did leave one of the little bags back at the house. I forgot. There's a disassembly tool. We'll show you how that works in here. But you could use just regular tools that you would have around the house already, or pick up from the hardware store if you would lose the little tool that's used for disassembly. Here you have little magazine pouches up here, so you can drop your mags in. It's just a really nice range bag for the handgun. All this will come for that $2,250 price. I think the Pro with the ported barrel is $2,400 or $2,450, something like that. And that's where you're going to get into this little pistol right here with the TAC pistol. So let's talk about it and some of the features. So this is not a new product. This is an evolved product. So it's still using the SAS2 frame on it. This one does have a steel lower. They have an aluminum version that's a little bit lighter weight that they're calling the EDC, everyday carry. This one is the TAC, so this one's meant to be more of a duty sidearm. It's a little bit heavier, has an extended dust cover out here that adds additional weight to the front of the handgun. We have a 1913 pick rail down here for accessories. You'll notice that on this version of the pistol, the new version, you have really, really nice deep serrations. They're not overly done, so they're not going to be sharp and cut your fingers up, but they're very, very aggressive, very positive. So even if you have sand, dirt, and mud, whatever on your hands, you're still going to be able to operate the slide quite easily. We do have a polymer grip frame here that is part of the steel lower. And back here we have our dovetail, and we have a skeletonized hammer. You can see the sights on this. Now, of course, these are optics cut. It's called a BAO system. In the bag, everything you need to mount most popular optics is going to be in the bag. You don't have to go out and buy additional accessories. So that's really a big plus in my mind, especially given the price. But here we have the serrated back sight that co-witnesses through this hollow sun optic. So I can see my iron sights through it. Up here we have the fiber optic front. Again, if you go with the Pro version that has the ported barrel, it'll just have a standard black front sight. Over here we have an ambi safety and no ambi slide stop slide release. But over on this side you can see the slide stop slide release and the safety. This is a bit recessed. It's nice that how this ledge is set up, that you're not going to get the idiot mark from putting your gun back together incorrectly and sliding that up. It's pretty much cut in a way that kind of incentivizes you just to push it straight in versus dragging that up your frame. Here we see the extended magazine release. And you see the texturing on the grip frame. It's really nicely done. It's about perfect, and it's not overly aggressive, so if it touches skin, it's not going to feel like sandpaper. Here we have the optional, but comes in the box on the gun, ready to go, magazine well, which is held in place by a single pin, but everything's in the box. If you want to take that off, you can do so. The thing that I like about this handgun the most is the undercut right here. All right, so if you're used to shooting a staccato, and most people would agree, anybody that has fired a staccato is going to say that it is a very ergonomic, very pleasant gun to shoot, and it truly is. But take a look right here, and this is more conventional. This is what a standard military grade 1911 would look like. It just basically comes straight back to the grip. So when you actually hold the gun, this finger kind of gets pushed down a little bit because it wants to ride up underneath that trigger guard. This is called an undercut when you cut this back so your finger can get a more natural grip and the gun can set more deeply in your hand. And that's what we have here with the TAC. See how it's undercut right here? And my finger sets there and I can push the gun deeply into my hand. That changes the grip feel of the gun tremendously. I can't state enough how big of a difference this makes in terms of how the gun feels in the hand and the shootability. I'm always a big advocate of undercuts. You'll see people doing this to Glocks and all sorts of popular carry pistols because it truly does change the whole game in terms of how the gun feels and shoots. And so that is probably one of the biggest things that they've done with the handgun. But if you take a look at it next to the staccato, you can see they're very, very similarly configured, right? And so you will be able to, in most cases, be able to put this into a staccato holster. I do have a staccato holster here, but this one is set for my P, which is not optics cut. So it has this sweat guard that comes up for the gun to set into. And you can see how the sight comes right up to the sweat guard. Well, unfortunately, this particular holster is not going to work because the optics cut. You can see the optic starts to butt into the polymer of the holster, or the kydex of the holster, and it's just not going to fit in there. But you could, if I wanted to, I could cut this to make it work, and I could heat gun it just a little bit and it would drop right in there. Or I could just buy a holster that's set up for optics cut. So very, very similar. You'll notice that they're pretty much identically configured in terms of with the safeties and things like that. But this gun, again, comes to market at $2250. Now, if you take a look at the barrel on the gun, so it has a nice bull barrel with a recessed crown on it, and it has kind of a unique disassembly. Not really unique. I mean, anything that has a full-length guide rod, this is actually fairly conventional depending on how the gun's configured, but this is a bushingless design, so we'll show you how to take it apart here in a moment. But the action of the gun is very smooth, very, very smooth. It feels like a truly custom-fit handgun. The trigger on it is very light. We'll get a trigger pull weight for you guys, but it's a nice, almost not quite a flat face trigger, has a slight curvature to it, but it feels really good. It's a perfect width and everything for my finger. The ergonomics on this gun, the staccatos are good. This is excellent. And the trigger just feels good. It breaks nice and clean. Everything about this gun just seems perfectly fit. And the shootability of it just through the roof. But I'm a 1911 fan. So next, let's take the gun apart, do a little bit more shooting with it. And I will give you some thoughts on this and what I think of 2011s as we move forward into 1911s evolving into handguns like this. I truly think that this is the future for 1911s if they're going to remain relevant. Firearms like this are truly bringing the 1911 into the modern age, just like the AR-15 with its modern amenities on it with the 1913 rails and things like that has really brought the M16 into modern times. It adapted well. I think the 2011 concept and firearms based on that concept are the future of 1911s. So we'll just talk about it now. All right, so let's do some more shooting with it, take it apart, and see how you disassemble this particular gun with its bushingless design. Now, as I've pointed out, these magazines are not compatible with my staccato P. The magazines from the P won't fit in this gun and vice versa. But these magazines, believe it or not, are holding 20 rounds. They have a +2 base plate that allows the handguns to fit a lot of ammunition into a really, really small space. And so this handgun has 20 rounds in the magazine. And even then, yes, it's heavy. These are 115 grain pills, but it feels good because the weight is centered in the hand. This just makes for an extremely well-balanced handgun. It feels really, really good. So what's 20 rounds sound like out of a handgun? I mean, look at this, guys. This is a handgun that is perfectly sized for duty carry, things like that, but yet it holds 20 rounds of 9mm. That's just outstanding. So this is what 20 rounds looks like when it's being fired. That's just magnificent. 9mm and 1911s works really, really well with the staccato style pistols and the 2011 style pistols, the TAC pistol that we have here. The 9mm just makes the whole thing happen. Now, early on when 9mm 1911s were out that were single stack, I was less enthusiastic about them. There's really no benefit. You got 1 or 2 extra rounds. This changes the game. It truly does. So with all the modern touches that you'll see on the TAC pistol like this, coupled with that 20 round capacity, it just truly changes that 1911 game in the best possible way. So shootable, and it just keeps putting the bullets in the exact same spot on the steel target. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you're not a 1911 fan, but you like 9mm, you like higher capacity, you don't like 1911s because they're limited capacity with their single stack offerings, try a 2011, try a TAC like this. It's going to change your opinion, I think, of the 1911. If you go out and shoot it, everybody I've ever let shoot a pistol like this, like the TAC or the staccato, anybody that's ever shot something like this of 2011 style, they've walked away going, that's really cool. I like that. Give it a try if you haven't already. So there are different versions of the handgun out there. This is the 4.25-inch version, the barrel length. There's a 5-inch version. We have the Pro version, we have the EDC. There's a bunch of different versions of the handgun out there. This is not the only offering. So if you're interested in picking up a Bul Armory 1911 in the 2011 style like this, check out their website and see what options are out there. And I think you'll find a pistol that certainly suits your needs. When it comes down to the quality of the manufacturing, the quality of the parts, the features, everything about it, it's just top of the line in my mind. This is a highly competitive pistol in the 2011 space. It's just the little things. I mean, little things like this. If you take a look at the mag well, you'll see how it's cut out right here and it's dimpled right there on the magazine. That's so you can pull a stuck magazine out more effectively. It's those little attention to detail things with the Bul Armory handgun that really makes me like the gun. That and the shootability, and as I've already pointed out, this undercut truly changes the game in terms of the ergonomics with the handgun. So if you're in the market for a 2011 pistol, check out the market, see what's out there. But I strongly recommend you take a look at Bul Armory. If you have any questions about this pistol, please ask those questions down below in the comment section. I do try to stick around for the first couple of days after a video goes live to answer any questions you guys may have. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel so we can continue to bring you content like this, consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There's a link in the video description. Get early access to videos, direct access to me. I answer all private communications and all that good stuff. Also, right here on YouTube, you got the support and thanks button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Hit either one of those buttons. You can help support us here on YouTube in the age of demonetization. Thank you for watching. Thank you for 16 years of support. Please swing by, check out Copper Custom. We'll talk to you guys soon.